Today I'm angry again, because you all seem to love it so much the first time. But this time I have a story. The true story of how Rec Room, the game I'm currently playing, actually broke my computer. It's quite the emotional roller coaster, so I'd buckle up and subscribe. It was a calm, quiet night. Not a creature was stirring. Not even... I didn't write that, right? It was calm and quiet all through my house. Not a creature was stirring. Not even a mouse. Just kidding, there was literally a blizzard outside. During said blizzard, I was editing a video and needed to film a clip in Rec Room, so I launched the game to get the clip I needed. I managed to get all the way to the login screen, and suddenly, my whole PC froze and stopped working. I waited like 2 seconds, and naturally, like the idiot I am, I held down the power button on my computer and waited for it to turn off so I can restart it. Spoiler alert, this was the dumbest decision of my life. I turned my PC back on, expecting to go back to Rec Room and get the clip, but when I turned it on, I was greeted with this error. I personally don't know anything about computers, so I instantly messaged my personal IT guy, Blade. We got in the VC in my Discord. Hi. This video is sponsored, by the way. This video is sponsored by my Discord! Yay! If you're lonely, which I know you are, please join. It's a fun time, I promise. Also, if you ever wanted to be in a video, I'm gonna be doing something with you guys soon, and this is how you could take part in it, so, join. Anyway, back to the video. And tried to figure out what the problem was. For those of you who don't know a lot about computers, let me get all techy on you real quick. In every computer, there's a system you can access by pressing a key when turning it on called the BIOS, or Basic Input-Output System. In this system, you can change your boot options, which controls how your computer boots up. This is also connected to your hard drives. If your computer is running Windows, one of your boot options will be Windows Boot Manager. This is how your computer runs Windows, like mine does. So I didn't know this yet, but I was missing that boot option, which is very important. In fact, it's necessary to have when using a Windows computer. Blade and I spent forever searching every inch of my BIOS, trying to find some way to fix things. We came to the conclusion this is a hardware issue and there's nothing Blade can do, unfortunately. So, I proceeded to look up my computer manufacturer's customer support number and get on the phone. I waited very patiently, didn't complain at all, and about an hour and a half later,
there are no available agents to speak with you right now. Our office hours are 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So I hung up the phone, complained to Blade for about another 20 minutes, and went to bed. Next day, I called back and got on a line of only 3 people this time, and waited patiently. I eventually got on with this very nice associate named Charlie, and I explained to him my issue and I video called him to try to figure it out. We tried taking out the power source, weren't able to. We removed my GPU to see a very tiny switch, which had nothing to do with it. Took the bag off my computer to check the SSD and its wires, dusted off everything, which was much needed. And while putting my GPU back into the computer, I unplugged 2 super small plugs that controlled the power to my whole computer somehow. So we took the GPU out once more to put the small plugs back into place so my computer would turn on. Eventually, after over an hour of troubleshooting, Charlie came to the conclusion that my hard drive unfortunately died and have to get a new one. I was understandably extremely confused. How the did my drive fry itself by me launching Rec Room? I still don't know the answer to this day. Charlie sent me an email with a bunch of information about hard drives and which one to get. And for those who care, I got this MVNe drive. I spent what extremely little money I had on this fancy new drive and waited very impatiently for it to be delivered. And it took about 3 days to come. I was totally fine. I'm actually so addicted to this whole YouTube thing at this point, I even made a video on the only thing I had left to play Rec Room on. Link in the description. But the gracious day came when the beautiful, fancy new drive arrived at my house, and the second I got home, I ran to my PC and slapped that in. Now, this is not a difficult task. You plug the black rectangle into the yellow port and put a screw in to hold the drive in place. But, of course, because I'm me, I managed to drop the extremely small screw, lose it inside my computer, shake it enough for it to fall out, and lose it on my floor. I quite literally spent 45 minutes ass up on the carpeted floor, searching for the screw like Velma without her contacts. Eventually, I did find it, and no, I was not sitting on it. I grabbed the stupid thing, threw it into the computer, and screwed it in with my screwdriver. excitedly turned on my computer, ready to play some paintball. Who am I kidding? I don't play paintball. Ready to play some Golden Trophy. It powered up, I got past the BIOS, and it didn't work. It didn't work. I spent $87 on a drive that doesn't even work. Ah! I instantly called Blade and started screaming. Blade had no clue what to do, so I referred back to the email my best friend Charlie sent me. I missed the part where he told me I might have to reinstall Windows. Plus, Blade said that this might have been the only issue and I wasted $87, but my drive might not be dead, which means we might not have lost everything. But before we get to that, we gotta get techie one more time. Hi again. So the drive did work, and does work. And my BIOS recognized it. But do you remember when I talked about Windows Boot Manager? Yeah, we still didn't have her. So I had to install Windows onto my PC, which, unfortunately, you can't do from the system itself. To do this, you gotta get a USB drive and another computer, install the Windows installation tool onto the USB drive, put the USB drive in the computer you're installing Windows on, and select the USB drive as your boot device in your BIOS. This process took me much longer than it should have, but I managed to do it, and after a lot of restarts, my computer restarted for the final time. I got past my BIOS, I did not get the boot device error. I set up Windows, and so, the moral of the story. My old drive is dead, I now have a new, more expensive one that has more storage, and somehow, Rec Room obliterated my Windows installation. I literally don't know how any of this happens, nor how any of it works, so don't ask me questions, ask Blade. But for real, thank you so much to Blade and Charlie for all their help. Thank you to my old drive for dying, that was really cool of you. And ow, that was my finger. And thank you for going on this emotional roller coaster with me.